Hey everyone, Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Glad you're here today. We are going to talk about, as you saw in the video title, 6 things that every backpacker should learn. And these are important things that I feel like every backpacker should learn. In fact, when I am teaching my intro to backpacking classes at the university that I teach at, these are things that I focus on with my students in helping them understand more of the theory and purpose and reason why we go into the backcountry and how we can take care of the trails and public lands and such that we go and backpack on. The first item that we're going to talk about that I feel like is super important is educate yourself in Leave No Trace. Understand the 7 principles of Leave No Trace, because these are commonalities that we all basically have come to an agreement on that are an important part of how we conduct ourselves in the backcountry. Plan ahead and prepare, and respect wildlife. I'm not going to go through all 7, but respect other visitors and dispose of waste properly. These are all important things that everybody should learn and be educated in as you're going out into the backcountry. It helps take care of our wild spaces. It helps protect public lands. It helps make it so that these areas are available and taken care of and protected for future visitors and other people that are just learning how great it is to be outside. So the first thing, educate yourself in the 7 principles of Leave No Trace. The second thing that we'll talk about is understand risk management. This is super important and something that I focus on a lot, particularly when I'm teaching my students at the university. I want them to understand the risks that are going to present themselves when they are headed out on a backpacking trip or even a day hike. These are things that shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I could get attacked by a bear or a mountain lion. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff, even though those are important risks to consider, but it's more of, do I have availability of water? Do I need to be more focused on where I get my water from and the sources that are available? What kind of conditions and weather am I going to experience? Those important things that may get overlooked a little bit that are gonna help you make better gear decisions for when you're out on the trails. Number 3 that we're gonna talk about is how to plan a trip. Now, when you first start backpacking, you're not sitting there going like, oh, let's pull out the map and let's figure out all of these things that I'm gonna do while I'm out there and I'm gonna count my mileage. No, you may just be like, hey, you wanna go on a backpacking trip? Oh, I've never been before. So yeah, I guess I'll figure out some gear. You're not thinking like, let's plan an itinerary. Let's plan these specific places where I'm gonna get my water from and mileage that I'm gonna do each day. You need to be able to figure out all of those aspects around, create an itinerary. What kind of permits do I need for where I'm going? What kind of restrictions are there? I can't just show up somewhere and not be prepared for certain restrictions that might present themselves. An example of this would be in the desert of Utah. It's very common for you to need a wag bag or a human waste disposal bag while you're out there, because you're not burying your poop in a cat hole, you are taking it out with you. And there are a lot of places where that is a requirement for you to get on the trail. And if you don't know that ahead of time, don't do your research, then you're not going to be prepared for those restrictions that you might have for that particular area. So learn how to plan a trip. Very important, and that is super, super surface level, and all of this is, but there's a lot of good resources of being able to learn how to plan a proper backpacking trip. Number 4 is learn how to pack your backpack properly. This is so crucial to a comfortable and enjoyable experience when you are out there on the trail. I spend a lot of time with my students helping them understand where things are supposed to go in your backpack, how you're supposed to load it up so that it carries comfortably on your back, but also not leaning to one side, and just so that you have the most comfortable experience possible with your backpack. I guarantee if you asked 100 people that went on their very first backpacking trip, one of the things that they would say, and a common thing that would be said, is that my pack was not comfortable. And learning how to properly pack your backpack just alleviates so many of those comfort issues that you might find with a backpack that is not packed properly. Again, lots of resources. This is surface level, and I've got videos here on my channel that show my process of packing a backpack, but learn how to do that because it will make such a difference in how you enjoy yourself with your pack out in the backcountry and have a pack that fits you properly as well. We'll just throw that in there real quick as an extra tip. Number 5 does dive into a little bit of gear talk here, but buy and use gear that excites you, that makes you want to get out on the trail and is not, well, this person on YouTube is using this and they said this is the only way to do it because it saves all this weight. Like, push that aside, and as you're going around to stores or shopping online, REI, Amazon, backcountry, like, find gear that excites you. If it's the color, awesome. Like, make that a priority instead of getting so caught up in weight savings and how much it costs and whether or not it's going to be the perfect thing for all of the trips that you go on. It is important to do your homework and make sure that the gear you take with you fits your goals and the conditions and the environments and everything that you have set for the trips that you're going on. The fact of the matter is, get out there and enjoy yourself and use gear that excites you, that fits within your budget. Now, the final tip, number 6, that we're going to talk about is something that is very important to me, and I think every single person that goes out into the backcountry needs to have in the back of their mind and they're always thinking about. And that is, how do I give back? I'm out there using the trail, I'm out there using state parks, national parks, Forest Service lands, BLM land. How do I give back? That's what I want to accomplish from tip number 6, or piece number 6 here. When we are out in these wilderness areas and in the backcountry, we are creating some kind of impact, whether it's with a fire, we collect firewood, or even just the trash that might end up falling out of our pack for whatever reason, little corners of a granola bar, that kind of stuff. Like, you are creating some kind of impact by being out there. So think about, how can I give back? And it could be as simple as, I'm gonna go out on this day hike, and as I'm going, I'm gonna fill a gallon bag, Ziploc bag of trash that I can pick up. Or if I see dog poop or something, I'm gonna pick that up as well. Just figure out ways to give back to the trail systems and the public lands that you are using and creating an impact on by being there yourself, because we want these areas to be available for everybody for a long period of time. And so if you are focused on different ways for you to give back, it makes such a difference in the satisfaction of being out there on the trail. So find ways to give back to the public lands and the trail systems that you are using as you are moving through your backpacking education and learning experiences and just the overall hobby of backpacking. Now, I got a question for you that I want you to answer down in the comments section. Let me know if you want me to do individual videos of each of these topics. This is very surface level. I did not get into a lot of detail about these individual things, but would you want to learn more about risk management? Would you want to learn how I teach my students how to plan a trip and read maps? Do you want to learn more about how to, different ways, I guess, and how to properly pack a backpack for different types of gear loadouts? Let me know in the comments, and I would be happy to put a series together over the next several months of these different topics. But if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. I am so grateful for you watching today and commenting, sharing the video, just being a viewer of this video and others on my channel. But you guys are awesome. Appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next video. See you later.